Hello comrades, my name is Fritz and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. On today's show, we are going to go to the moon. Yes, following last episode's short episodes, preparations for our mission, accepting contracts, gaining a bit more science to unlock new parts. Yes, we are finally going to attempt to do the deed. I'm here in the tracking station, just checking things out as you do. And I think we are pretty much ready to go. I have built a lander of sorts. It's not quite as advanced as I'd like, but with the few parts that I have, I think it's probably the best I can do at this particular time. So the only option we have really in order to progress in the game is to go ahead and fire a rocket, a ballistic device at the moon. And Tylo, okay, we've got some way to go before we have to go there, but you know. So to the moon, yes. But first, off to the vehicle assembly building. Here at the beloved Space Center, and these are my contracts that I have active at the moment. So they might seem like a lot, but most of them are to do with the moon, or involve the moon in some way. So you can see that I've sent an orbital flight into the vicinity of the said moon. You can see that I've achieved orbit around the moon and transmitted or recovered scientific data from space around the moon. I recovered it obviously because you get more science. Obviously, once again, we haven't landed on the moon or done anything on the moon. And that obviously comes under the umbrella term of planting a flag on the moon. So we of course are yet to do that. And Curlington, another rocketry design company, also wanted to do the same thing, so I guess we'll just transmit some data from there for the sake of it. Now, if we just close this, in light of those contracts, what I'm going to do is show you the lander that I built. It's a very simple design, and you'll probably agree that it's not the most kind of efficient design, but it's pretty bog standard. So we have landing struts like that, lots of batteries, mystery goo canister, communotron, more battery packs, parachute obviously, and radial decouplers, not parachutes rather, with the materials bay. But you probably don't want to stick around and watch me build the whole rocket, so I'm going to slip into a fast forward sequence, and that's it from me, and I will of course see you on the other side. Hooray, we're back, and Vlad the Tormentor is complete. And what kind of behemoth have I created? Well, it's a moon rocket, and essentially I have lots of solid rocket boosters, like the 3 you can see here. And those will provide a hell of a lot of thrust off the launch pad. obviously given the helping hand of the LVT-45 engines here, the 215, the ones with the 215 on their power scale thing, with the conventional stacked fuel tanks in a system of 3, drop tanks on the transfer stage, so they'll fall away and they'll leave a full tank in the middle, like that. And the engine propel us into lunar orbit. And then at the top we have the lander that I showed you earlier, so these feed into the single engine command pod with the thermometer, a new thing that I unlocked. Batteries, they're still there, haven't really changed much on the lander apart from something else. What did I change? Was it the reaction wheels? Yes. Crew, let's see. Yeah, in between the decoupler and the fuel tank there's a reaction wheel. I think I'm going to save my ace pilot Jebediah here and go with Nedry. I think we'll give Nedry a chance. Go back to the parts menu and save, and then off to the launch pad. And here we are at launch pad number 1 at the Kerbal Space Facility, the only launch pad at the Kerbal Space Facility in fact, and it looks like the whole thing is going to be a night shebang, which suits me. Just making sure the staging is set up correctly before we begin the countdown. Nedry Kerman is waiting, he is ready. I'm going to make sure that the launch clamps fire at the same time as the engine. We don't want the rocket to fall off its braces. Zoom out. Like that. Our save is bedded in nicely, as you can see by the flag outside the confines of the launch pad. Throttle set to half, and let's see, SS on. Make sure everything was set up correctly. Throttle all the way up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Ignition sequence start. 3, 2. Hang on. Oh no, everything's fine. Thought there was something missing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have liftoff. The solid rocket boosters have ignited as planned. All of the 3 engines on that first stage are firing. Well, all systems are nominal, all systems are go. We are going to space. Okay, here we are. We finished our transmitter injection burn, and we have a lunar periapsis of 709 kilometers, which is slightly further away than I expected. But obviously, we don't want to run into that awkward situation when we hit the moon directly if we burn too much, which has happened to me on several occasions. But Nedry is on his way on a free return trajectory to the moon, so if we don't make a burn at our lunar periapsis, then we'll just come hurtling straight back, which is comforting, obviously. There's Kerbal slowly becoming a pale blue dot, and now we turn our attention towards the ever-encroaching craters of the moon. And it looks like there's an eclipse coming up, which should of course be interesting. Well, it would be interesting if we were viewing from the perspective of a Kerbal on Kerbin. However, in Nedry Kerman's shoes that evidently isn't the case, so we may as well just press on with it. And here we are at our encounter. Periapsis slowly approaching in half an hour or so, so it's going to time warp 5 minutes, and there it is. To turn retrograde swiftly and get into position. This shouldn't take that much delta V, and no, it's fine. Actually, it's very slowly doing its business. This shouldn't be of too much of a concern to us. However, we do need to keep an eye on our fuel consumption in these early stages of the mission, so throttling down to about a quarter throttle and just waiting for everything to settle down nicely. Our apoapsis we can drop down to roughly, say, about 20 kilometers. That's always a good all-round bet. Circularizing, there it goes. Where's our periapsis going to end up? We're still at 500, and still quite a substantial amount of fuel left. Lag spike. Glad the Tormentor's mission is going swimmingly. No glitches detected. 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10. We'll call it 10. That's roughly 20, isn't it? Right. We have some way to go until we can do another burn to circularize, so I'm just going to well, it says transmit or recover scientific data from around the moon, if I just leave that up. In which case, we can identify a crew report or an EVA report counts as scientific data, so we could transmit that. Although, if it isn't, then we just wasted electric charge. So, I'm sure this counts as a scientific widget. Well, it better. And keep the data board. Then I guess we could view store data. Transmit that data. Perfect. Now I can't actually seem to remember circularizing, so have I got these contracts done? Well, yeah, I guess we could leave that for later. Now, I've seemed to have forgotten whether we've circularized or not. We can do that first contract on the way back. My memory's that bad. But, oh no, we didn't. We had only done our periapsis, hadn't we? 10 kilometers, that's it. So we're just going to slingshot all the way around. Wait for our periapsis. Here it comes, and just slowing down the time warp. There it is. Easy as that. And now we're going to have to spin our spacecraft around a retrograde. I am conscious once again that we might not have enough electric charge, but we seem to be managing that pretty well. So here on the dark side of the moon, we're going to spin around to retrograde position, and then make sure it's in line. Oh, gone a bit too far. There we go. Lock in the SAS. And slowly begin our burn. Actually, that's looking good. I think we can bring up the throttle like so, and let our periapsis just coast downward. I really need to make this burn as fast as possible because our periapsis is going down. It is dropping pretty rapidly at that. 10 kilometers, we're almost below 10 kilometers actually. That's pretty scary. The highest mountains on the moon are at 8 kilometers. So that's bone-chillingly close to hitting the deck in Second World War fighter pilot speak. Or litho-braking in the case of Kerbal space program. So what we're going to do is time warp around to the sunniest side of the moon. And Kerbin rises like so. Isn't that glorious? I really do think that warrants a screenshot. I think we can take a moment to appreciate that. There's the moon on the left, and look at that glittering octagonal orb in the heavens. Anyway, that concludes the first part of the moon mission. Please do join me next time when we will land on the moon. And also, if you enjoyed the video, please do like, comment and subscribe. All support is of course appreciated. My name is Fritz, and I will see you next time on Kerbal Space Program.